and I know you're dying to find out what this is all about.
Before we dive in, you might want to brace yourself because today's episode is packed with mind-blowing clips featuring cryptids and paranormal activity like you've never seen before.
I'm Steve. This is Classified Captures, but first, let's take a look at the opening clip and find out what it's all about.
Look at this. What is this? What is this? What? Honey, some things we just don't touch, even as a dog collector. What in the boogity? What is happening?
This clip is from Atlanta, and it features a scene that you seldom see among paranormal circles.
What in the world? Who? I'm trying to figure out. Well, let me go. Yeah.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see this? A child's play toy or a tool for evil? If you're confused, allow me to explain. This right here is what you'd expect a voodoo doll to look like. Pay attention to its make and the items around its neck. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know I'm no fan of dolls found in strange places. And this one ticks all the avoid me boxes. The uploader of the clip is a doll collector, but even she isn't willing to play around with something like this. In her own words, there are some things we don't touch, and I definitely agree with her.
What is happening? Ooh, why is it here? It's just posted up.
This doll might have been used as a representative for a person named Cursed. It could have been used as an earthly representation of some form of voodoo god. There's also the chance that it's just a scarily made doll, but who's willing to take that chance to see which it is? Certainly not me.
What? What in the world? Who? I'm trying to figure out. Well, let me go. Yeah.
This clip was sent in from Australia, and the uploader believes he encountered a yowie. According to him, the yowie jumped from a tree 15 feet high and ran away. It had black fur all around, with broad shoulders and a conical small head. When it came to its feet, however, it had large flipper-like toes and was only about 5 feet tall, minus the height. I'm sure everything else reminds you of Bigfoot, right? Well, the yowie is actually what you might consider the Australian cousin of Bigfoot, a mythical ape-like creature rooted in Aboriginal folklore and said to roam the remote wilderness. Often described as towering and hairy with a face that's somewhere between human and primate, the yowie has been a staple of Aussie cryptid tales for centuries. The big question now is if this is legit. Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, believes it's true. But what do you think?
Okay, have your home screen.
It's on the home screen.
Not touching anything.
No buttons.
Okay, infrared lens on the camera. Boom, there was one.
Next, we got a woman who decided to test something strange using her phone. A standard camera and an infrared camera. A partner sat across from her holding his iPhone. As she filmed with the infrared camera, the iPhone's front-facing camera appeared to flash repeatedly when the camera app wasn't even open. This mysterious flash wasn't visible to the naked eye, but the infrared lens picked it up. It looked like the iPhone was snapping invisible photographs every few seconds, regardless of what the user was doing. Even more disturbing, when he covered the lens with his fingers, the infrared flashes kept going.
Oh, it's trying. It's taking pictures of your finger. Okay, move your finger. Ready? Boom. Why?
So is this part of some kind of face tracking or biometric monitoring system, or is it just a harmless proximity sensor? Apple hasn't issued a clear public statement about this specific flashing behavior, but the implications are scary, especially when paired with what we already know about how much data our phones quietly collect. We used to worry about being followed outside. Now we might be being watched while scrolling in bed.
That your phone, an iPhone specifically, takes an infrared picture of you with your Face ID every 5-ish seconds, and we looked at it through an infrared camera, and it's pretty wild. Let's show you. Okay, have your home screen.
It's on the home screen.
Not touching anything.
No buttons.
Okay, infrared lens on the camera. Boom, there was one.
This next footage was shared just this May. A group of people were out by Colorado River enjoying a day near the riverside when they spotted something unusual moving among the trees below.
That's really funny.
They quickly grabbed their phones and began recording. This large humanoid creature was walking upright through the brush. Its movements were slow, deliberate, and oddly natural. This wasn't someone in a costume. There was something off and very real about it. Since the clip was posted, the paranormal community has been buzzing. Many are calling it one of the most compelling and authentic cryptid sightings in recent years from the American wilderness. Others suggest it may be a forest spirit or even something interdimensional. Whatever it wasn't human, and it left everyone who saw it in person shaken. So what do you think this creature could be?
That's really funny.
Would you stop if you saw this on your way home? If you answered yes, come closer. You might want to rethink your answer. Why, you ask? Have you ever heard of La Llorona? I guess not. La Llorona is a legendary spirit from Latin American folklore, often described as the weeping woman who wanders near rivers, lakes, and dark roads late at night. According to the tale, she drowned her own children in a fit of rage or despair after being betrayed by her lover, and now she's cursed to roam the earth crying out for them, as she searches in vain. She usually seen wearing a long white dress, her face hidden behind a veil or drenched in tears, and those who hear her cries are said to be marked by misfortune or even death. So if you ever spot a figure sobbing in the shadows or on a highway, you might want to think twice before stopping. It might just be La Llorona, and she's not looking for company, she's looking for her children. Woe to anyone who approaches her without them. Also, it could just be thieves waiting to ambush you, so, stay safe out there. This was uploaded by a group of friends exploring the great outdoors. According to them, they were just moving around when they noticed something on one of the branches from the distance. Thinking it was an animal they hadn't seen before, they got closer, only to realize that it might be a person. What's more, the person did look like one of them, and that's not normal. One of the guys in the group is heard calling the name of the person they suspected he might be. The human, however, does not respond, instead drops to the ground like an animal and keeps looking around. It's almost like he had been possessed. As interesting as that was, they soon realized the man was not the only one there. There is something or someone else with them. Many suspect this is nothing more than a skinwalker with a bewitched victim. I've watched the clip over and over, and I can't help but notice that the man is trying to prevent himself from laughing.
Well, if that's correct, this is either staged or Julius is starting to rub off on me.
China has been in the news recently in all spheres: economy, diplomacy, tech, and now warfare. And this one's straight out of a sci-fi thriller. China is testing the Jiutian SSUAV, a massive drone mothership designed to command entire drone swarms in real time. Using satellite links and onboard AI, it can jam enemy systems, identify targets, and launch dozens, even hundreds of drones that move and attack like a mechanical hive. It's swarm warfare. Overwhelm the enemy through speed, volume, and machine coordination. But here's where things get even more interesting. While China's tech is turning heads, the US may be even further ahead, just much quieter about it. With an $8 billion defense budget and black projects buried in places like DARPA and maybe even Area 51, rumors swirl that America already has drone fleets with near-autonomous combatability. Think Valkyrie drones, AI pilots, and experimental tech we've never seen. So yeah, the future of war is fast, autonomous, and very possibly already here. And it's not about who has the biggest army anymore, but who has the smartest swarm. A girl shared this video online, and at first it had everyone on edge. According to her, she and her friend had gone on a road trip and were using a remote road that cut through the heavily wooded area when something strange happened. This man appeared in the distance, walking toward the car. He was moving quickly, and the girl, clearly alarmed, started to drive off. In a second clip, we see something else. She had stopped the car again and was still filming. The same man was now approaching slowly, this time holding a flower in his hand. As he got closer, she picked up speed, and just as she drove forward, he started suddenly running after the car. Then, as if defeated, he stopped and walked off to the side of the road, squatting down like he was sulking. It was strange and unsettling, especially considering how isolated the area was. But then something even more confusing happened. She stopped and reversed the car toward the man. People online were already worried for her safety, but she later revealed that the strange man was actually her friend, the same one she was on the trip with. She asked him to get out of the car and pick her a flower, and she was just messing with him, and apparently with us too. Turns out she pranked the whole internet. Still, for a moment there, it looked way too real. A woman woke up in the middle of the night to get water from the fridge, only to freeze in terror because she saw this. There, halfway down the staircase, was a humanoid figure just standing there facing her. She was so shocked, at first she thought her mind was playing tricks on her. Maybe it was just the dark, or she was still half asleep. But when she snapped the picture, what she saw confirmed it. There was definitely something there. It had a full humanoid shape, faint but visible in the darkness. She said the house had never had any activity like this before, so you can imagine how horrified she was. Now, some people believe it could have been a ghost, others think it might have been a type of entity that's been there all along, but just never revealed itself until now. If this was the first time she saw it, how many nights had it already been standing there, just watching? Florida shocks the world again. Someone captured this strange video while out in Florida right around sunset. The clouds had that classic deep blue tint you get as the day fades, and on one end of the sky, the sun was clearly setting, and high above them was a crescent moon. But right there in the sky, far from the sun, was this massive reddish orb glowing boldly in the sky. It looked almost like the sun, but that couldn't be. The actual sun was already low on the horizon. So what is this fiery red shape floating in the sky? Some are speculating it could be another planet, but what planet glows like that? It wasn't moving like a plane, and it definitely wasn't the moon. Others say it might be some sort of rare weather phenomenon, but there are also those who believe it could be something we're not supposed to see. A few in the paranormal and UFO communities think this could be one of those rare moments where we see something that normally remains hidden. So what do you think this red, strange orb could be? This strange sighting just came out of Ibiza, Spain, and it's got people talking. The video was taken in May 2025 by a local man who lives near a meadow surrounded by hills. He said he noticed a shiny object in the sky, and it was glimmering just above the hilltops, then suddenly vanished behind one. So he decided to grab his phone and get a closer look. Now here's the thing. The object didn't look like something falling from the sky. It wasn't tumbling or spinning like debris or a meteor. Instead, it moved slowly and deliberately, like it was aware of its path. It looked too intentional and calculated. That's why some are saying this could be more than just a random object, but possibly an actual unidentified flying craft. It didn't behave like a drone, it didn't match the speed or shape of a plane. So could this be yet another piece of the ever-growing UFO mystery? It's actually very easy to deceive the eye, even with something as natural as the ocean. With just the slightest play on light, movement, or perspective, you can create illusions that make us question what we're really seeing. Take a look at this bit of footage. Someone was driving past the ocean, and at first glance, everything looked completely still. The car moved slowly, but strangely. The water looked frozen in time. The waves didn't seem to roll or ripple, but then as the car came to a stop, the illusion broke. Suddenly, you could see the water surface shifting, the waves crashing, and the ocean coming to life. This strange visual glitch wasn't a filter or CGI, it was just a simple trick of motion perspective. When you're moving at a certain speed while looking at a vast body of water, your brain and eyes sync in a way that can cancel out visible movement. But once you stop, the natural motion returns and the illusion fades. So, a lady uploaded this clip to her TikTok because she was allegedly confused and scared. She was playing around with a cam and ended up with this. Her eyes weren't supposed to look like this, they were supposed to match her face. Seeing what looks like a medal or chain in her eye was not part of the bargain. This allegedly freaked her out and made her ask online. Some mentioned it might be ocular capillaries, but I've revised the clip a number of times, and I'm tempted to believe this is part of whatever filter she's using. Is there an optometrist here to confirm?
Did you guys see the video of the girl who was using, this filter? And you could see bugs crawling around in her hair. Because I did, and I don't know what to do.
Speaking of illusions, have you ever heard of the Escherian stairwell? This stairwell is said to exist at RIT, which is Rochester Institute of Technology, and it's one of the most mind-bending illusions you'll ever see. It's named after M.C. Escher, the artist known for impossible structures and infinity loops, and true to its name, this staircase appears to defy physics. Just watch this little girl try it. You can see the confusion on her face. She starts walking up confidently, only to realize that something's not adding up. She gets visibly shocked when she notices that she's back where she began, and yet she never turned around. When you walk up the steps, it feels like you're going up, but somehow you end up right back where you started. You keep climbing, but you're trapped in an endless loop as if the staircase is folding reality itself. Now, some say it's a real architectural trick, others believe it's a digital illusion or part of a staged experiment. But it's trippy and it messes with your senses of direction and logic in the best way possible. Have you seen this before? And do you think it's real or just a clever trick of the camera?
But what I want you to do is just walk up the stairs and wait for me on the next floor.
Just go upstairs.
Just go on up. There you go.
That's it?
That's it. Just keep walking. You get to the top. Rosie! What are you doing here?
The dark web is not for the faint of heart. Let me tell you that right now. A man was browsing one of the dark web marketplaces when something caught his eye, and it sent chills down his spine. It was a page selling shoes, but not just any shoes. Each one had a girl's name attached to it. That might seem innocent until you notice the condition of the shoes. Some are dirty, worn out, and used. Nothing about this seems normal, and the names made it worse. It felt like the shoes weren't a product, but a symbol, a representation of something or someone. People began to speculate that this might be more than just some creepy resale page. What if the shoes were code used to sell or traffic the girls whose names they carried? On the dark web, that's not a far-fetched theory. We know people have used everyday objects as covers for horrifying illegal activities. It's a terrifying thought, but it's the kind of thing that lurks behind the veil of the internet's darkest corners. The question is, what else is being sold this way that we don't even know about? Someone spotted something strange hanging just above the trees. It was this shiny object suspended silently between the treetops. It didn't look like a drone, and it definitely wasn't shaped like any aircraft most people are familiar with. Some say it looked like light frozen in mid-air. Others believe it might have been a cloaked craft or a piece of technology not from this world. The footage has been shared online, and while some call it fake, others are convinced it's something more. What do you think it was? Back in 2005, a cancer researcher named Dr. Keith Cheng made a discovery that stirred up a lot of interesting conversations about human evolution. While studying several types of zebrafish, which have black and white stripes like little underwater zebras, he noticed something unusual. Some of the fish had lost their black stripes due to a genetic mutation. But here's where it gets really fascinating. That same mutation was later found in lighter-skinned humans, particularly those of European descent. The gene, known as SLC24A5, plays a major role in skin pigmentation. According to Chen's findings, this suggests that lighter-skinned people may have evolved from darker-skinned ancestors. In other words, white skin is a result of genetic adaptation, possibly to help the body absorb more sunlight in regions with less UV radiation, which affects vitamin D production. This discovery adds to the evidence supporting the idea that all humans ultimately trace their origins back to Africa, and that differences in skin color evolved as our ancestors migrated and adapted to new environments. Pretty incredible, right?
I bet that pisses off all the racists out there when they realize their ancestors are probably black.
Someone was walking along the beach when they spotted something odd half buried in the sand with a small pool of water around it. It was a face. Yeah, a face. 2 bulging eyes, a wide mouth, and this unsettling stillness like it was watching. Of course, some people were quick to call it paranormal. I mean, wouldn't you? A creepy face staring at you from the sand isn't exactly a normal day at the beach, but as strange as it looks, there's actually nothing supernatural about it. That thing is called a stargazer fish, and trust me, it's not something you want to mess with. Stargazers are ambush predators. They bury themselves in the sand with only their eyes and mouth sticking out, lying perfectly still as they wait for prey to come near. When something swims or crawls up enough, it launches upward and swallows it whole. But that's not all. Some species of stargazers are also venomous, and others can even deliver electric shocks like actual jolts of electricity to stun their prey or defend themselves. So no, this isn't a demon from the sea, but it is a terrifying little reminder of just how weird and wild nature can be. And next time you're walking barefoot by the water, keep an eye out for those guys. ChatGPT can now analyze images, a major leap in AI capability that's turning heads everywhere. You can upload a photograph, meme, screenshot, or even a hand-drawn diagram, and it'll tell you what's in it, interpret it, or even break down the hidden meaning. The man in this clip uploaded a picture, and the app was able to tell him where it was taken. Bear in mind that no prompts or descriptions were given to the app to aid it. This isn't just about recognizing cats or street signs anymore. We're talking deep visual analysis, reading blurry text, identifying logos, decoding charts, and more. In practical terms, it means users can get help with homework, decipher strange symbols, or even spot inconsistencies in edited photographs. But it's what happens behind the scenes that's raising eyebrows. Some believe this image analysis tool is a lot more powerful than OpenAI admits. Rumors swirl online that ChatGPT can identify faces, read emotions, and even detect subtle government watermarks embedded in seemingly harmless images. A few conspiracy theorists claim this feature is being quietly used for mass surveillance trials, disguised as a helpful AI assistant, but actually testing facial recognition models and behavior prediction for shadowy organizations. Others warn that with enough image input, ChatGPT could start learning to piece together personal data, track locations, or reconstruct private events, all without the user even realizing it. Whether brilliant innovation or covert text platform, one thing's clear. This isn't just a chatbot anymore.
This thing is scary. Can you find the location? It's actually finding it.
This is a city. It said it's Natal, right? But then now it's double checking if it looks like Natal, which may not.
Oh my god.
Passenger on a flight, thousands of feet above the ground, looked out of the window and spotted something strange in the sky. They grabbed their phone and hit record because of what they saw. Floating just a short distance from the plane were two long black smoke-like figures. They moved slowly, swirling in the air, not dispersing like regular smoke would, but almost alive. And then something even weirder happened. As the two forms spun and stretched, they suddenly merged into one, becoming a single entity drifting beside the plane. Now, some people say it's just exhaust or smoke from another aircraft, but if you watch closely, the way it moved, came together like that, it doesn't seem like smoke at all. Some are calling it a sky specter, others wonder if it's an unknown energy form like something we haven't yet classified. So what do you think? Take a look at this footage. A man is on a boat somewhere deep in a remote river. Suddenly he starts freaking out, screaming and scrambling, then jumps out of the boat to get away from something. Then the camera pans in the direction he was looking, and there it is. A massive, shadowy creature seems to be thrashing beneath the surface, moving through the water. Now, this clip is said to have come from the Congo, and if you know your legends, then you've probably heard about Mbembe, a massive river beast often described as a dinosaur-like creature similar to the Loch Ness Monster. And honestly, it really does look like this man saw something terrifying. But this footage isn't real. It's a scene from a movie called The Dinosaur Project. It was a found footage-style adventure film about a father and son who journey into the Congo jungle and come face to face with prehistoric creatures. So, there. No one would have believed her if she hadn't captured it on video. A woman was in the ER waiting to be seen. To pass the time, she decided to take some photos of herself. But then, as the camera panned the room, she caught this. Across the room, someone or something was standing over another patient. It was tall, dark, humanoid in shape, but completely blacked out, standing motionless over a sleeping patient. It didn't move or look around, it just stood there watching. She was so shaken that she stayed awake the entire night. She was discharged the next day, but the fear followed her home. When she told her family what she saw, she believes she had just seen the Grim Reaper. She was in the emergency room after all. Anything could happen there. Life and death cross paths every day. So what was that shadowy figure? Here we have a video that's been making the rounds online, and it's creepy to say the least. It was taken by a girl at a university. She was just standing at the door of an empty classroom, using the glass window as a mirror to take a quick video of herself. But she captured something she didn't expect. As the camera rolls, you can see her flinch, startled by something behind her. In the reflection, there appears to be a strange, semi-invisible figure standing inside the room. And just as she reacts, the thing moves swiftly, gliding from the center of the room toward the window on the far side. You can actually see the motion as it passes by, but it's hard to tell if it walked through the wall, was already inside the room, or even if it's human at all. The figure looks pale and translucent, almost like it's not fully there, and it moves unnaturally fast. No one can say for sure what it was. So what do you think she captured in that reflection? Two men were out by the mountainside when they spotted something strange in the sky. It was a white glowing orb hovering just above the top of the hill. It glowed steadily up there. The men were so intrigued they ran uphill, trying to get closer to see what it really was. But just as they neared the top, the orb suddenly shot upward, melting into the sky, completely gone in seconds. Now, with sightings like this, it's hard not to consider the possibility of UFOs. I mean, think about it. A solid object floating with no visible propulsion system, no sound and no wings, just glowing and hovering there. If that's not some kind of non-human tech, then what is?
Oye, la madre, un platillo volador, plebe. Nunca he visto un platillo volador tan cerquita. Juguen ustedes, guacha, 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 guacha. Y nos andamos alucinando,
Did you know your trash could be used to trace you and even recreate your face? There's an artist named Heather Dewey Hagborg who does just that. She goes around collecting discarded gum, strands of hair, and even cigarette butts from sidewalks, public spaces, just anywhere. Using the DNA left behind, she applies a process called DNA phenotyping. It's a technique that analyzes genetic material to predict physical traits like eye color, skin tone, facial structure, and more. Then, using that data, she 3D prints a face that represents what the person behind that DNA likely looks like. So, she basically sculpted a face from trash. But it's part art, part science, and definitely part warning. So next time you casually toss that gum on the ground or shed a hair in public, remember, someone out there might be able to find you. Have you ever seen what a raccoon's hands really look like? A homeowner recently captured something very strange on their Ring camera. The footage was recorded late at night outside their house where they'd left a bowl of dog food. Everything was quiet until something reached into the frame. You don't see the creature itself, just a hand, but this wasn't a dog paw. It didn't look like any regular animal either. The hand reached carefully into the bowl, grabbed a few pieces of dog food, pulled them out, and then went back in for more. It didn't claw or swipe like you'd expect from an animal scavenging food. It was precise, almost intelligent. Some people say it's just a raccoon, but those who've seen the footage up close say the hand looks slightly human. So the question is this just a clever raccoon with unusually dexterous paws, or did this camera catch something else? Every day it feels like there's a new piece of technology that just blows our minds. This time it's a new camouflage material developed in China. At first, it appears almost transparent like glass or plastic, but when someone stands behind it, they completely vanish. You can't see them at all. This isn't just a trick of the light. It's said to be made from a military-grade material using quantum stealth technology. It bends and manipulates the light around it, essentially making whatever behind it invisible to the naked eye. It's being referred to as an invisibility material, and though it looks simple, the science behind it is anything but. And just when we thought we'd seen it all, technology surprises us again. What would you do with a sheet of this?
And guys, I don't want to hear anybody say that they'd use it to go into the girls' showers in the gym.
This woman shared a strange experience online, claiming she might have lived through a Matrix glitch, and honestly, her story checks out. She said she had a water bottle and had drunk from it just a few moments earlier and placed it back into a stroller. But when she reached for it again, something was off. The bottle was now completely full to the brim and sealed shut as if it had never been opened. She was freaked out, especially because people around her confirmed that they saw her drink from that same bottle just moments before. Now, this sounds like a textbook example of a glitch in the Matrix moment, but not everyone's convinced. A commenter claimed she's a paid actress who stages these scenarios for views, accusing her of faking paranormal-style content. And here's the real problem. When people fake experiences like this, it makes it harder for those who truly go through something unexplainable to be believed. The paranormal community has seen a lot, but it also values truth. So what do you think?
Water bottles like this. I have a little basket. I put both of the water bottles in. They were ice cold, like right out of the fridge. I opened it up and I started chugging it. Put the cap back on, set it back into my stroller, wiped my mouth because I had hella water dripping off my chin. I'm gonna take another drink. I reached to grab my water and I noticed that it's full still. So I grabbed the other water and I noticed that it's full.
We all know the famous name behind the moon landing, Neil Armstrong. He's remembered as the first man to step onto the lunar surface, but what many forget is that he didn't go alone. Behind him was Buzz Aldrin, and with them was Michael Collins, who stayed behind in the command module. All three were part of the Apollo 11 mission. Now, over the years, there have been countless conspiracy theories claiming the moon landing was fake, and believe it or not, some of the arguments are pretty convincing. But what happens when one of the very astronauts who walked on the moon says he never actually did? On more than one occasion, Buzz Aldrin himself has been caught on camera saying, "We never went to the moon." He claimed it was an animated production, not a mission, and now people are asking questions. There's a whole theory that the moon landing was carefully done for America to win the space race, not explore space itself. So what do you believe? Did we really land on the moon, or was it all a brilliantly executed illusion?
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
It didn't happen. It could have been scary, because we did go there. We watched animation.
Scientists really are playing God these days. Just take a look at these images taken in the night sky over a research facility in Florida. Researchers were curious about how lightning forms, so they did something wild. They launched copper wires straight into the clouds during a thunderstorm. Since copper conducts electricity, they wanted to guide the lightning down a path, and it worked. The result was a terrifyingly beautiful display of glowing bolts tearing through the sky. But why are they trying to figure out lightning in the first place? What's the real reason behind this? Is it just curiosity, or is there something bigger they're not telling us? Because when you start pulling lightning out from the sky, are we just studying nature or trying to remake it? But I wouldn't put it past these scientists. These types of videos have popped up a lot lately, and they're getting people talking. In this clip, a streak of light shoots across the sky, and boom, there's a blast of flames where it hit the ground, and just like that, it's gone. It all happened in a flash, literally. Now, some people say this is a glimpse of a new kind of military tech called a directed energy weapon. We're talking about high-powered beams that can destroy without warning and leave almost no trace. Is this video real? Well, we don't know for sure, but what we do know is that weapons like these do exist, and they're already being tested and even used in conflicts around the world. So what do you think? NASA launched a rover to Mars to explore the planet's surface. According to the one who uploaded this clip, during the mission, the rover stumbled upon an unexpected discovery: a finger. It's, however, unclear who it belongs to. According to him, further analysis is yet to be carried out to determine its origin and to understand how it ended up on the planet. There's a possibility that it could belong to extraterrestrial life, or it could have belonged to a human who previously visited the planet. As much as I want to believe this is true, everything about it screams hoax and false. I mean, if NASA discovered something like this, it would be big news, unless, of course, they're in cahoots with the aliens. What do you guys think? As we all know, technology has advanced far beyond our wildest imaginations. Tesla's work with robots is an excellent example of this. However, what caught my attention recently was something even more fascinating: a piece of footage that we discovered. It shows a person holding what appears to be a fly in their hand, but on closer examination, it becomes clear that this insect is not a natural one. It appears to be made entirely of metal and has a head that doesn't resemble that of a regular insect. There were some in the paranormal community, however, who thought it looked like a cicada or a jarfly. I looked them up, and I get where they're coming from, but this isn't it. This discovery raises many questions that I find intriguing. For instance, who made this metal fly, and for what purpose? Are there other animals or insects in the wild that are not real, like this one? If so, what implications does this have for our understanding of the natural world? In this footage, you can see a jet pilot pouring water into a cup and drinking it while the craft goes around, but the air never spills. How is this possible? Well, this is because of three main reasons. Firstly, as the aircraft moves, it creates a force called centripetal force. This force pushes the water toward the bottom of the cup, helping to keep it in place even if the cup is tilted or upside down. Secondly, water has a property called inertia, which means it wants to keep moving in the same direction as the aircraft. So, even if the cup is tilted or turned upside down during the aircraft's maneuvers, the water stays inside because it wants to follow the aircraft's movement. Lastly, there's something called surface tension on the water's surface, like a thin skin that holds the water molecules together. This surface tension helps to keep the water in the cup, especially when the cup is tilted or inverted. With all these factors combined, the water stays put in the cup even when the aircraft is pulling off tricks, allowing the pilot to enjoy their drink without any spills. Either that, or the clip is fake, which is your money on. Still on the strange and weird, take a look at this clip. This video was posted online featuring a rather strange and mysterious creature. The creature appeared to have tentacles that were moving about as it floated in the air. The person who posted the video claimed that it was a leviathan, but people were not convinced. Take a look at some of the comments from the original post. Most people believed it was just a kite due to the varying shapes and sizes kites can come in. Another theory was that it was a weather balloon, but we're not exactly sure if there are weather balloons in this shape. Despite the many skeptics, some remained convinced that the creature was indeed a leviathan. For those who don't know, the leviathan is a mythical sea creature with tentacles. If we're going to be accurate to the lore, I'm not exactly sure it can fly, but hey, this is the 21st century where anything can be possible. So what do you think? Tell me what you see. It appears that there is an entity moving in the water, and although it's not visible, there's a clear indication that something quite large is present in the water. Some people believe that this could be a massive sea creature swimming out of the water. However, I'm inclined to think that it's an electrical cable being dragged out of the water, and the water's movement is causing the cable to appear to be moving on its own. What's your opinion on this footage? This was captured in the United States. The exact location is unknown. It was taken by a late-night beachgoer who had sneaked onto the beach to take a swim. While on the beach, the individual noticed this pale creature that was crawling on its hands and feet. The creature was waddling along the shoreline with calculated steps, moving in a manner that was both eerie and unsettling. Thankfully, the person who captured the footage was able to find a hiding spot and remain unnoticed by the creature. Despite this, the creature's appearance and behavior have left many people wondering what it could be. Some speculate that it may be a bloodthirsty monster, while others believe it could be a rake. Until more information is available, it's impossible to say for sure what the creature is or what its intentions might be. Personally, I have doubts about its authenticity, but I wouldn't want to be that guy, so let's move on. Our next clip takes us all the way to Mexico, where a farmer made a startling discovery: a small, humanoid creature that appeared to be completely dried up. The creature was in a fetal position with a pair of arms and legs. Although it was only a few inches long, the shape of its skull was quite large, which led to much speculation. Some people believe the creature was an aborted or miscarried fetus due to its small size. Others have suggested that it could be an alien. Some claim that the creature was an extraterrestrial being that had somehow ended up on Earth. And some think that the creature was a duende. For those unfamiliar with the term, in Mexican folklore, duendes are small mischievous creatures that are said to inhabit the wilds of the country. They're known for their distinctive physical features, which include oversized heads and limbs. Despite much debate and speculation, the true identity of this thing remains a mystery. Having seen it yourself, what do you think it is? This final clip is one of my favorites. Enjoy. Two pedestrians were about to cross the road, each person standing across from the other on the side of the road. The car taking the footage stopped for them to cross. Before anyone could understand what was happening, the older-looking pedestrian quickly scooped up the child and ran to the other sidewalk. In a split second, we know why. Another car overtakes from the side at high speed. The child might have died had the pedestrian not acted quickly. That was a close one. It's great to see people still put their lives on the line for those who need it. This person was captured from afar in the wilderness. Although not very clear, you can make out the silhouette of a slender person. The person appears to be wearing a robe with an oddly shaped head protruding from their body. The ears were sticking out, resembling the iconic ears of Yoda from Star Wars. What creature could we be looking at? Some might see it as a rare encounter with something beyond our understanding. Others might think it's just our brains playing tricks on us, showing us things that aren't there. What about you? What do you think? At first glance, this footage looks like a capture of the sky with a beautiful shade of blue. However, if you examine the footage more closely, you will see that there is something else there too, a strange entity that comes and goes. This entity moves in a back and forth motion, appearing and disappearing at seemingly random intervals. While it might resemble a cloud, it moves too quickly to be one. Could this be some sort of ghostly apparition? It's hard to say for sure, but it's certainly a possibility worth considering, don't you think? Ever encountered a vampire? No? Then this is for you.
I'm a rideshare driver in New Orleans. So, of course, I encounter all types of people from all walks of life. So, one particular ride was very interesting.
So this driver picked up a woman who acted rather strange while in the vehicle. The lady started telling her how she loved her energy and what have you. Initially, she didn't think much about it until the woman touched her and she started to feel weird. She asked the woman what happened, and the lady told her that she just leached some of her energy. She told the lady that she was a vampire, just not one that drank blood. No, they feed off energy. The vampire then went on to tell her about vampires that survive off good energy, bad energy, sexual energy, and even blood. There were a tribe that lived in New Orleans, and the lady wiped some of her memory. The lady insists that it happened and something happened to her. She doesn't remember where she dropped the person off and lost 2 hours of her memory after the event. Now, people in the paranormal community have gone crazy with this story, and I can understand why. Some have insisted it was not a vampire, but a demonic encounter. What say you?
She touched my shoulder, and I felt like I just froze. And even as I'm talking to you right now, I can distinctly remember that feeling of feeling frozen.
Still on the unexplained, what do you think this is?
Masya Allah. Itu ikan apa duyung ya?
Looks like some sort of aquatic snake or eel. I've watched the clip over and over and over again without being able to explain what I'm seeing. I tried to do a little research, hoping to discover what this might be. Looking at the clip, I suspected this area was a swamp, so I went on to look for snake-like creatures that live in swamps. I discovered that in swamps, one can find large serpents such as green anacondas in South America and Burmese pythons, which are native to Southeast Asia but also found in the Florida Everglades. There are also African rock pythons in sub-Saharan Africa and various large water snakes like the northern water snake in North America. These serpents are adapted to the wet, dense environments of swamps and thrive by hunting a range of prey, including fish, birds, and mammals. Given the limited footage we have, I can't tell which of these creatures we saw could be. I mean, what's to say it's even one of these and not something otherworldly? Either way, this is valuable information I wouldn't have had if it wasn't that I was confused. What about you guys? Any information and ideas on what we could be dealing with? Let us know in the comments section.
Masya Allah. Itu ikan apa duyung ya?
There have been many instances of videos circulating online that claim to show evidence of alien life, but some appear to be fake. One such video is this strange creature supposedly spotted in the clouds. The creature is a huge entity with tentacles. The person who shared the footage believes that it's an alien. However, something seems off here. The said alien is darker than its surroundings, which is a telltale sign that the footage has been created using computer-generated imagery. The creature is clearly out of place in its environment. In the middle of the night, a young man stumbled upon a peculiar object hovering above the ground. Upon closer inspection, he noticed that it appeared to be a ring-shaped formation made up of several small orbs. The strange object was swaying back and forth in a rhythm that seemed to defy any logical explanation. While some might argue that it was nothing more than a group of balloons, the time of night made this explanation seem unlikely. As a result, some began to speculate that the object was actually a ghostly apparition or some sort of otherworldly entity. I mean, I want to believe it, but you know that Harry Potter spell? Ridiculous. That's what comes to mind. What do you think it is? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thanks for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode.
Had people found out that we did. I don't know how, but they did, and things kind of went downhill from there.
Weird looking, right? It's not every day you see something like this, and the one who uploaded it insists that it's real. It looks like something gooey substance levitating or standing upright. Julius straight out called it fake, and for the first time I was tempted to side with him until I read the comments. Take a look at this comment. The individual insists she experienced something like this. Another claims she saw it in Miami. Another person also mentioned that he caught strange things on camera that can't be seen with the naked eye. These comments can make you feel this is certainly real. Skeptics, however, exist and find it laughable. They've attributed the whole thing to CGI and called it fake. What do you think? Who do you side with?
Had people found out that we did. I don't know how, but they did, and things kind of...
I was sleeping, dead asleep last night. All of a sudden, I heard something rummaging through my cab. I rolled over and peeked through the window, and I swear there was like this huge thing standing there going through my stuff. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no way it's a person.
Speaking of strange big guys moving around in the dark, this woman was camping out when she was woken up by noises of something or something going through her stuff. She woke up, tried to investigate, and was met with this strange, ginormous creature that escaped into the night. The logical thing to have done would have been to leave the place, but no, she wanted to get to the bottom of it. So she camped out again, this time with cameras to capture who or what was responsible for the interference of her sleep the previous night. Looks like she takes her sleep seriously. And sure enough, her cameras captured something. It was a hairy bipedal creature making its way through the woods in a manner that suggested it didn't want to be seen. But for the cameras, it would have achieved its goal. Now that she had evidence of what disturbed her sleep, she needed to put a name to it, and she uploaded it seeking opinions. Looking at this, it looks like our big guy. Is it really him, though? Hard to say. This one appears shorter than we are used to when the distance makes it hard to properly define its features. Julius thinks it's a man in a costume, but he always thinks things like that. Aaron suggests it could be a young or juvenile Bigfoot. What about you? What do you think?
And I swear there was like this huge thing standing there going through my stuff. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no way it's a person. It dropped everything and scampered off into the woods behind me.
On a tranquil day, a strange event occurred on a rice farm located in Indonesia. A metallic ball suddenly fell from the sky, startling the residents in the vicinity. The ball appeared to be very unusual, and people quickly left their homes to witness the unexpected event. As they arrived at the farm, they saw the ball lying on the ground, and everyone seemed confused and surprised at this strange situation. The ball had a metallic look, and its surface was smooth with no markings or writings on it. The nature of this ball and the reason for its fall remain unknown. Some people suggested that it could be debris from space or even extraterrestrial in origin. However, there was no way to confirm this theory yet. Fortunately, no one was harmed during the incident, and the authorities were informed to investigate the matter further. In this amazing video, we don't see a ghost, but something even more incredible. A majestic creature with bat-like wings and horns on its head, soaring through the sky. This isn't just a bird, it's like a creature from a legend, a dragon in all its breathtaking glory. Seeing such a mythical creature makes us question the world and what we know. How could something like this exist outside of stories and old tales? Is this real footage or perhaps a hoax? I mean, if we can make insects, this should be a cup of tea, right? But even so, I can't help but wonder, from ghosts to legendary monsters, I wonder what else there is to see. Humans are known to engage in thrilling activities that push the boundaries of their comfort zone. However, sometimes these activities can be extremely risky. For instance, consider this incident where a group of individuals on an ocean adventure filming their experience suddenly came across a large fish with its dorsal fin protruding from the water. The creature was quite aggressive and began chasing their boat at high speed, creating a scary situation for the individuals involved. Despite the danger, the group managed to maneuver their boat skillfully and escaped unharmed. Similarly, another group of individuals embarked on a boat ride in a forest by a river, hoping to enjoy the beauty of nature. However, their adventure took an unexpected turn when they spotted a large bear standing on the riverbank. As soon as the bear noticed the boat, it began to run after them, causing a wave of panic among the individuals on the boat as the bear was gaining on them. Fortunately for them, they managed to steer the boat away from the bear and reach the safety of the shore. A close call by all standards. Imagine going on an open sea adventure and running into something like this. This was captured by a surfer while on an island. He thought he was out to surf, but the ocean had different plans. But what are these things? Obviously, we can tell they're huge and look fluffy under the water's surface. Well, it turns out that they're South American sea nettles. They're a type of jellyfish found in the Pacific Ocean near South America. They're known for being pretty big and have long tentacles and a bell-shaped body. Even though they're large, these jellyfish usually don't hurt people, even if they sting. While this might sound like an invitation to get close to one, it's still smart to be careful and not touch or swim near them. Angels have long been revered as divine beings, known for their luminous appearance and wings. Recently, intriguing footage has surfaced, showing a collection of glowing objects in the night sky. The objects were not like the famous glowing orbs that have been spotted in the past. They were a mass of oddly shaped things moving slowly in a captivating manner. The footage has left people wondering if these creatures were truly angels. The video raises many questions. Were these objects divine beings checking in on us, or were they something else entirely? What are your thoughts? As the rain poured down, someone decided to capture the event on their camera. Turns out they did the right thing because suddenly, out of nowhere, a bolt of lightning struck the ground, accompanied by a deafening roar of thunder. Out of the lightning flash emerged a floating, glowing entity. The entity appeared to be hovering mid-air and appeared to be surrounded by an ethereal glow. The person filming was so spooked that they quickly retreated to the safety of their home. The question that remains is, what exactly was that mysterious entity? Was it an angel or some sort of interdimensional being that arrived through a portal created by the lightning strike? Someone captured this strange-looking creature in the woods. At first glance, it doesn't look like any creature we've seen, but the one who uploaded it insists it was a chupacabra. For those unfamiliar with it, the chupacabra is a legendary blood-sucking dog-like creature that's infamous for attacking livestock. Its name means goat sucker, as it was first reported attacking goats in Puerto Rico in the 1990s. Members of the paranormal community were, however, quick to point out that the creature was a guara or maned wolf, an actual species found in South America. Comparing the picture of the wolf and the creature, they do bear similarities in their long legs, ears, and tail. However, the creature in question looks sickly and appears to be missing its fur, giving it a grayish appearance. This could be due to a variety of reasons, such as malnutrition or disease. As for whether it's a sickly maned fox or a genuine chupacabra, I'll leave it up to you to decide. The Dogman is a creature that has been the subject of many myths and legends for centuries. The creature is believed to be a hybrid between man and dog, possessing the physical attributes of both species. Sightings of this creature have been reported all around the world, but they're often dismissed as mere hoaxes or misidentifications. However, this recent sighting has caught the attention of many people. A street camera captured footage of something moving across a highway. The creature was moving on all fours, but its appearance was not necessarily canine or feline. Or rather, we couldn't tell because of how blurry the footage looked. It quickly went viral on social media, and some believed that the legendary Dogman had been caught on camera. The sighting even made it on a local television news, which further fueled the fascination surrounding the mysterious creature. Despite the widespread interest in the sighting, there's still no concrete evidence to prove that's the Dogman. But what do you think? A team of men were busy working on a property when they chanced upon a mysterious hole in the ground. Intrigued, they took a closer look, and to their amazement, they saw a creature that resembled a dragon-like serpent moving in the hole. This creature is known as a worm, which is a mythical creature often depicted as a cave worm dwelling in underground tunnels. Worm is considered to be one of the most dangerous creatures that you can ever come across. It's also believed that a worm guards treasures in the underground caves and tunnels that they inhabit. However, it's not easy to approach them as they are always on high alert, ready to attack anyone who tries to steal their treasure. In summary, if you ever come across a worm, it's best to run and never look back. But that also means that you just found yourself riches unheard of. Run and leave the treasure or fight the creature for it. Apparently a lot, but this is not one of them. It's what we call a leopard seal, not a mystical creature this time. Leopard seals are strong predators known for their sleek, spotted look and great hunting skills. They live in the cold waters around Antarctica and nearby areas where they're top hunters. Their bodies are shaped like torpedoes, and they have powerful jaws with sharp teeth, making them perfect for life in icy seas. They mostly eat fish, squid, and krill, but they also hunt penguins and other seals. Someone sent us this footage claiming it was the Loch Ness Monster, but come on. I didn't need to go to Julius to know this wasn't one. What do you guys think?
Hello. My name is Thomas. And this is Navid. We are inventors in the Lemelson MIT Student Prize Competition.
Students from MIT created these incredible gloves designed to transform sign language into spoken English. Here's how it works. The person signing wears the gloves, which are connected to a computer. Whatever sentence they sign is translated and then spoken out loud by the system. It's one of those inventions that actually makes so much sense and could have a huge impact. Just think about it. This could break down communication barriers for millions of people who use sign language as their primary means of communication. In situations where a translator isn't available, these gloves could be a game changer. Imagine the possibilities in classrooms, public service hospitals, or even casual conversations. These gloves could provide a seamless bridge between sign language users that don't understand it. It's not just a technological advancement, it's a step toward a more accessible and connected world. Wouldn't you agree? More of these, please.
Inventors in the Lemelson MIT Student Prize Competition.
What would you do if your friend disappeared right in front of you during a bike ride? Confused? Well, this is what I mean.
Hey, we'll stop right up here.
All right, sounds good. Whoa! Jeremy? Jeremy! Jeremy! Jeremy!
These two guys were out on a bike ride on what looked like a mountain. The young behind, who also doubles as the one filming, starts looking around and enjoying the scene. After a second or two, he looks in front of his friend, who we will discover is called Jeremy, is gone. I mean, he just disappeared, leaving his bike, which evidently came to a standstill. In the clip, we see the second rider called out to his friend, and that's just about till the clip ends. Was this a glitch in the Matrix? Many seem to think so. They believe Jeremy may have glitched into another reality or timeline, but is this really the case? Well, some disagree. They think that this has definitely got to be CGI. They believe the clip was edited to deceive the masses. You've seen the clip, you saw the moment he disappeared just like we did. Do you think this is really a glitch, or was the clip edited to look like it was? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Whoa! Jeremy? Jeremy! Jeremy!
A resident was inside their home when they heard some commotion from the neighbor's house. They went to investigate and found this strange scene. They saw a pair of animal-like legs with an upper torso being chased by a dog. The resident quickly started recording what they saw on their mobile phone. As the entity moved behind a trash can, it suddenly vanished. What in the world could this be? Was it an alien creature, a supernatural entity, or something else altogether? While some speculated that it could be the result of good CGI, the residents insist that what they had filmed was real. What do you think? During his cave exploration, the man spotted a peculiar fossil that caught his attention. As he moved closer, he realized that it was a saucer-shaped object stuck in a massive rock. After conducting a thorough examination, the experts confirmed that the fossil was, in fact, a UFO that had been buried for over 5 million years. The discovery of this ancient UFO has sparked a lot of interest and curiosity amongst scientists and the public alike. At least, that's what the individual who sent this clip in said. I've combed online resources and I can't seem to find any credible information. Also, this UFO is rather too small unless the aliens are tiny little buggers. But what do you guys think? Looks magical, doesn't it? My first thought when I saw this was, this must be nice. I felt like whoever recorded this must be living in some kind of fairy tale dream from when I was a child. That was at least the case until I looked in the comments section. There were some individuals from war-torn areas who could swear on their lives that this was definitely white phosphorus. When I came across the term, I didn't know what it was until I Googled it. Apparently, white phosphorus is a highly reactive toxic substance that appears as a waxy white solid and can spontaneously ignite in the air, causing severe burns and health risks upon exposure. It's used in military applications for creating smokescreens and incendiary devices, and in what the chemical industry is producing phosphoric acid and phosphates. Due to its toxicity and environmental persistence, it must be handled with extreme care, stored underwater or in an inert atmosphere, and regulated strictly to prevent harm to humans and ecosystems. So basically, it's supposed to be associated with bombs and explosives. I refuse to believe that's what's going on here, but then again, the world can be a cruel place. Julius thinks the magical part of this clip is animated, while other team members are a bit saddened by this discovery. Any experts on the subject here? Is this really white phosphorus? If it is, are those who are recording the clip going to be alright? Please let us know. We've talked about Mars missions and the pioneers of space exploration on this channel, but did you know there's a wild coincidence involving Elon Musk in a 1953 book by Wernher von Braun? Hold on to your seats.
When can we expect the first humans to set foot on Mars?
Best case is about 5 years, worst case 10 years.
So in 1953, von Braun wrote a book called Project Mars. In this book, he envisions a mission to the Red Planet led by a man named Elon who establishes a Martian government. Sounds eerily familiar, right? Fast forward to today, and Elon Musk has a plan to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050 and start a colony. Do you think the writers of the past could see the future? Well, Julius isn't convinced about the significance of this coincidence, but Aaron believes it and is getting ready to do a big documentary. What do you think? Are we looking at a mere coincidence, or is there something more to this cosmic alignment?
When can we expect the first humans to set foot on Mars?
Best case is about 5 years, worst case 10 years.
Take a look at this extraordinary sight, a cat with 2 tails. While I know this can occur due to a birth defect, I can't help but feel intrigued. You will also notice that this cat doesn't cast a shadow. It's perplexing considering the amount of light present in the surrounding area. The ground beneath the cat remains devoid of any shadow. I find this to be highly unusual, and it's only added to my growing suspicion that something is not quite right. With all the strange happenings in the world lately, it's hard not to wonder if there may be more to this than meets the eye. I mean, Julius suspects it might be a hoax, but could this be a glitch in the Matrix or some other unexplainable phenomenon at play? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have this intriguing clip that depicts a man floating in the air in someone's garden. This video has sparked a lot of discussion, with some people suggesting that the man is using strings or other trickery to create the illusion of levitation. However, others believe that the man's levitation is real and not a mere trick. There are reports of people being able to levitate after intense meditation sessions. Some believe that this is due to the ability to harness and control the body's energy, while others attribute it to supernatural or paranormal abilities. He could also just be a skilled illusionist who has found a way to create the illusion of levitation, or he may have indeed achieved a state of levitation through intense meditation or other means. What do you think about this? Do you think humans can levitate through meditation or other means? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I know what you're thinking. Monster. Would you believe me if I told you that this was actually real? This is a frilled shark. This unique-looking creature is often referred to as a living fossil because its physical characteristics have remained largely unchanged for millions of years. The frilled shark has a long eel-like body that can reach up to 2 meters, 6.5 feet in length. Its flat head is equipped with rows of tiny needle-like teeth that are perfectly suited for capturing prey in the deep ocean. The shark's most distinctive feature, however, is its gills. They're frilly and resemble lace, giving the creature its name. Wondering why you don't see this often? Well, the answer is simple. Frilled sharks are typically found in deep ocean waters, living in depths ranging from 200 to 1,500 meters, 660 to 4,920 feet. They prefer to reside near the edges of continents and in underwater canyons where they can hunt their prey, small fish, squid, and other deep-sea creatures. These sharks are not often seen by humans due to their deep-sea habitat, but when they are, they're truly a sight to behold. Wouldn't you agree? Now, I know you're probably wondering what we've got here, and you would be right to do so. I know nature has a lot up her sleeves, but this is something else. The creature appears to be a lizard with a body as long as a snake. As strange as this thing is, it turns out it's really out there. There's a whole species of lizard out there that looks like this. They're referred to as an Asian grass lizard. They're a species of long lizards found in parts of Asia like China, Japan, Taiwan, and Vietnam. They're known for their long, snake-like body and tail. They like to live in grassy places and prefer to catch and eat bugs, thankfully. They're usually calm and shy, running away from trouble instead of fighting, which is good to know. A part of me wanted to declare this as CGI until I did the research. Turns out, not all strange and blurry pics online are fake. Who knew? This video clip was recorded of a little bird running along the sandy beach. It's quite unusual to see birds running at such a pace, as they tend to fly or walk around while looking for food. However, this particular bird seems to be moving at an extraordinary speed, almost as if it was training for a race with the Flash. It's an exaggeration, but yes, upon closer inspection it became evident that there was nothing wrong with the bird. The reason it appeared to be moving so unnaturally fast was simply that it was moving faster than the frames per second rate of the camera used to record the video. The difference in speed between the bird and the camera's FPS rate created an optical illusion, making the bird appear to be running much faster than it actually was. Before we move on to the next clip, kindly smash the like and subscribe buttons and bell icon if you haven't already. Done? Well, let's jump back into it. A woman was going about her daily routine when she noticed something on the floor of her room. As she got closer, she realized it was a strange-looking creature that resembled a worm. The woman was unsure about the identity of the creature, so she posted this footage seeking help. Some suggested that it could be a rugworm or some other type of worm, but without a closer examination, it's hard to tell. The question that arises is how this creature ended up in her room. Did it crawl in through an open window or door, or was it brought in on someone's clothing? I'd let you guys decide on this one. In recent years, sightings of unidentified flying objects, aliens, and strange orbs in the sky have become more frequent. It's become so common that people are no longer sure what to think when they witness them.
Look! Look at my phone. Look at her moving orbs. Look at this. There's fucking aliens. That's not fucking normal. That was the moon. What's happening?
Recently, a man captured footage of a peculiarly shaped glowing object in the sky that appeared after the moon disappeared from the night sky. The video shows the man sounding frightened and a woman in the background trying to reassure him that the object was just a tree covering the moon. The man who captured the video claimed that the object was not like anything he'd ever seen before. He described it as being oddly shaped and glowing with an intense light. His voice in the video suggests he was genuinely scared and unsure of what he was witnessing.
No, there's nothing fucking in it. I've seen this shit before in my life.
Okay, but on there it's not. But if you look over here, look, you can barely see it. Is that the tree branch? Is that actually...
No. No.
Wait, I see it. Look. There's a big fucking ton of them. You can see it.
It's not... The moon just fucking disappeared.
However, the woman in the background of the video tried to explain to him that it was just a tree covering the moon and not an alien spacecraft. Who do you think is in the right here?
No, this is... I know exactly what's happening because... No, something weird's happening.
Bigfoots are cryptid creatures that have been a topic of interest amongst the paranormal community for decades.
Haley, wait. That's a bear. Haley, that's a bear. Haley. Dude, that's not a freaking bear. Dude.
In this particular video footage, a couple was spending time in the woods, having fun, and capturing videos of their experience. Suddenly, they noticed something moving among the trees ahead of them. At first, they assumed it was a bear, but as they continued observing, they realized that it was walking upright on two legs like a human and using its arms to push branches out of the way as it walked. The creature was covered in thick, matted hair, which appeared to be dark brown color. Its face was obscured, making it difficult to determine any identifiable features. The couple was understandably startled and frightened by the encounter and immediately took off running in the opposite direction. Upon watching the footage, many within the paranormal community believed that it matches the description of a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. However, there are still others who remain skeptical. Regardless, this encounter is just one of many that continue to fuel the fascination and mystery surrounding these elusive creatures.
Haley, wait. That's a bear. Haley, that's a bear. Haley.
A couple was driving by the woods when they noticed something alarming. A very large wolf had emerged from the trees and was now on the road ahead of them, running towards something. To their shock, they saw it was a man riding a bicycle up ahead. To help, the driver began honking the horn loudly, trying to scare the wolf off, but the animal was relentless, darting into the woods only to re-emerge and continue chasing the cyclist. Fortunately, after several attempts, the driver managed to scare the wolf enough that it finally gave up the chase and disappeared in the forest. Wildlife can be very dangerous, especially when you're not in a car. So whenever you're moving through the areas where wild animals might be present, especially on foot or by bike, always be cautious and aware of your surroundings. What you are witnessing is a demonstration of what some believe to be the 5G cocktail effect. In the first clip, a man places a speaker facing upward and drips water droplets onto it. Instead of falling, the droplets appear to float above the speaker and vibrate, seemingly reacting to the sound waves emitted by the speaker. In another demonstration, people at the bar place a bottle of champagne on a table surrounded by their phones while playing music. Suddenly, the champagne begins to bubble vigorously and the cork pops off, which some attribute to the vibrations and energy from the phones. Proponents of the 5G cocktail effect theory argue that these devices and their associated electromagnetic fields can interact with the water in our bodies. Since the human body is composed of approximately 70% water, they suggest that we might be experiencing reactions to these energies, which could potentially be harmful. This raises concerns about the unseen radiation emitted by these technologies and how it may impact our health. A group of friends had decided to search for the paranormal deep in the woods late at night. Despite hours of searching, they found nothing unusual. But as they drove back and were able to pull into the driveway, they noticed something strange. There was a shadowy figure moving around the car. They quickly cut the engine and grabbed a flashlight and their phones to record. When they shone the light toward it, they were met with a chilling sight. A dark, fur-covered creature standing about 7 feet tall, staring right at them. And just like that, the footage cuts off. It seems something may have followed them home from the woods. Could this be a dogman? We can't be sure. The footage was shaky, but whatever it was, it left them rattled.
Me deixa, meu Deus! Sai! Não vem não!
Now, I don't speak Spanish, but even I can tell that this is bad news. This was allegedly recorded by a guy who wanted the experience, the thrill of a haunted space. It's something he loved to do, and this love sent him to a haunted sewer system. I mean, anyone who can endure the smell of a sewer just so he can experience something paranormal certainly deserves a seat in this studio. After a bath, of course. While Aaron would certainly love to engage him, Julius thinks there's no point to the exercise. Yes, he did hear strange noises coming from the sewer, but ultimately there was no real face to these sounds. Yes, he did catch a glimpse of some small creatures, but didn't really get a good look because he was running scared. Is this something you would do, or do you think he placed his life in harm's way for no reason?
Me deixa, meu Deus! Sai! Não vem não!
A woman who had just moved into her new home shared an unsettling video online that has since left viewers with chills. In the footage, her back patio is dimly lit, with a lone rocking chair gently moving back and forth. Yet there's no one sitting in it. She mentioned that this wasn't the first time she noticed the chair rocking on its own. It had happened twice before, always without explanation. Determined to capture the strange occurrence, she recorded the scene, and sure enough, the chair moved as if an invisible presence was sitting there. Even more unnerving, her dog, usually calm, was visibly distressed, barking aggressively at the seemingly empty chair. Could it be that her new home is haunted by a spirit that favors the rocking chair, or is there another explanation for this mysterious event? This video was taken in a graveyard, and it raises more questions than answers. A passerby noticed something strange about this figure, and no, according to the uploader, it's not human. It's supposed to be a statue. But here's the eerie part. The statue is moving, sliding sideways as if it's alive. Statues are meant to stand still, so seeing one move like this is beyond unsettling. What could possibly explain this? Is it a ghostly activity or a hoax? Take a listen to this eerie footage and tell me what you think is making those noises from the woods. This video was captured by a woman in North Carolina during a walk with her dog. As they passed by the forest, they began hearing strange otherworldly sounds echoing from the trees. What's even more intriguing is that these noises aren't a one-time occurrence. The locals reported hearing them every year, typically from late January through February. Some people have even dubbed this time of year Bigfoot season, as the sounds are often linked to the sightings and encounters with the elusive cryptid. The noises themselves are deep, guttural, and almost primal, unlike anything commonly associated with known wildlife in the area. Could they be mating calls, territorial signals, or even migration sounds? Well, it's hard to say given how little we truly know about creatures like Bigfoot, if they exist at all. Skeptics argue it's just an animal like a coyote or an owl, but the consistency and timing of these sounds have left many wondering if there's something more mysterious at play. So what do you think? Could this be evidence of something extraordinary? Or is it just the forest playing tricks on us? And for those living near wooded areas, have you ever heard anything like this? Let's hear your thoughts. What are we looking at here? It's an alien-like creature gliding through clear water. At first glance, its body resembles that of a fish, but something about it doesn't quite fit. The head is even stranger. It has no visible eyes or mouth, just a deep, dark blue hue. When I saw this, the first thing that came to me was one of the alien ships of the Covenant in Halo. See? There's a resemblance, but while this creature might look like it belongs in a sci-fi movie, it's not an alien. This is actually a blanket octopus. Yeah, an octopus. These fascinating creatures are known for their stunning, flowing appearance, almost like a living blanket drifting through the ocean. I wanted it to be something more, extraterrestrial, but looks like it's just something terrestrial, no matter how fascinating it looks. Would you look at that horse over there? An absolute giant with muscles thick enough to rival any bodybuilders. This is no ordinary horse. This is called a draft horse. Draft horses were specifically bred for heavy work, like pulling plows, hauling loads, and handling other intense labor. They are built like powerhouses with muscular frames that set them apart from regular riding horses. Breeds like the Shire, Clydesdale, and Belgian are some of the most well-known, and each one has a unique look and incredible strength. Can you imagine the presence this horse must have up close? With a stature like that, they're as much a marvel as they are a gentle giant of the horse world.
Aí pessoal, suposto lobisomem aqui de Petrolina, ó, no caminho de Pedrinha, tá vendo aí? Quando as pessoas dizem que é lenda, que não existe, o Tô mostrando aí pra vocês aí, que é a pura verdade, ó.
Just in case you haven't seen this clip already, the one who posted it believed it was a dog man. The first time we shared this clip, I was skeptical about its authenticity, but barely a week or two after sharing, the original poster of the clip has gotten in touch, or at least the person claims to be, stating that this clip is indeed genuine and not doctored. You guys can see the clip. You can see the alleged dogman in it. Do you believe this is real, or do you agree with me that there's a high probability of it being an attempt for 5 minutes of fame? Either way, share your thoughts in the comments section.
Bicho é muito feio. Peludo, ó. Até o pelo dele é diferente. Tá cheio de morotó. Você vê que é bicho de outro mundo.
A man came home to a loud, frantic banging on the window of one of his rooms. At first he thought maybe it was just the wind or some animal outside. But as he walked closer, he froze. Through the glass, a small hand was pounding against the window, and along with it, he heard a child's eerie, hysterical laughter. The sound sent a chill down his spine. He wasn't expecting anyone to be out there. No kids lived in the house, and no one should have been inside. He rushed into the room, heart racing, but the moment he stepped inside, everything went silent. No banging, no laughter, and when he checked behind the curtains, nothing. No one. So what was that? A ghost or something even more disturbing? A couple owns a smart fridge, and according to them, one day the wife walked into the kitchen and heard it whispering. She turned it off, but this keeps happening. Take a look at the video.
So this shit actually terrifies me. This thing, okay, the thing is off. Okay, here we go. Your microphone is now turned off. Do you want to? I turned this off one day. Okay, I press cancel, and it keeps popping up. And one night, I'm sitting on my couch, and I hear whispering. Literally whispering in the kitchen. And I'm like, what the f*** is that noise? It's this. I come in here and I see the thing talking, it's whispering. I said, absolutely not, turn the f*** off.
She turned off the microphone near the fridge, and this strange activity kept popping up. The fridge refuses to stay off. Smart devices are cool, but I don't think they work any better than regular fridges. Stop using smart devices at home. These devices are intelligent, meaning they can think to a certain level on their own. It also means they can be hacked and potentially used to spy on you. I know you trust big corporations, but if the things happening around us communicate anything, it's that we can't trust big corpos. Stick to the normal fridge. Okay.
And one night, I'm sitting on my couch, and I hear whispering. Literally whispering in the kitchen. And I'm like, what the f*** is that noise? It's this. I come in here and I see the thing talking, it's whispering. I said, absolutely not, turn the f*** off.
What kind of shoes are you wearing? Are those Skechers?
Well, they're kind of a part of my feet. But I don't want to give you the shoe size. I'm a little self-conscious about that.
In the world of technology, we're all aware of how Elon Musk is pushing forward with advancements in Tesla robots, making them more sophisticated by the day. Take a look at this recent interaction someone had with one of these robots. He asked the Tesla robot what its shoe size was, and the response was remarkable. Not only did it answer, but the tone was so convincingly human that if you weren't watching, you might actually believe it was a real person speaking. While it's impressive, it's also a reminder that these machines are steadily becoming more human-like in their responses and behaviors.
What kind of shoes are you wearing? Are those Skechers?
Well, they're kind of a part of my feet. But I don't want to give you the shoe size. I'm a little self-conscious about that.
Please, by all means, feel free to move something. Move one of the leaves here, move one of the leaves there, I don't know, whatever you want to move. Move the bike again, or the remote here. Don't be scared. Although I am a little bit scared. It's one of those horrible situations where you kind of want to off. There is no way.
A man had been hearing strange noises in one of his rooms for a while. At first, he thought it was just sounds coming from outside. But one day, he decided to go in and record to investigate further. And when he did, he realized the noises weren't coming from outside, they were coming from within the room itself. Take a look at what happened next. As he started filming, he kept his distance, pointing the camera toward a corner of the room where he had a piano, a guitar, a flowing vase, and a speaker set up, along with a few other items. He started speaking to whatever might be there, asking if it could move something around to show its presence. At first, nothing happened, but then suddenly the guitar moved. According to him, the guitar had been popped up in that spot for quite a while, and it seemed unlikely that it would just lose balance and shift on its own. He even walked closer, panning the camera to show that there were no strings or wires attached to it, making it clear it wasn't staging the scene. So what do you think? Could this be a strange coincidence, or did something unseen really move that guitar?
Don't be scared. Although I am a little bit scared. It's one of those horrible situations where you kind of want to off. There is no way.
We all remember the time Selena Gomez fell on the red carpet at an awards show. It's a very infamous incident, but recently someone made an interesting observation. Take a look at her foot as she fell. It twisted in a way that looked rather unnatural, almost inhuman. People are now linking this to the shapeshifter conspiracy in Hollywood. Some are suggesting that Selena might have shapeshifted in public and covered it up with a fall. We've seen a lot of cases where celebrities have very odd moments like this, and it's often said to be a glitch in their reptilian bodies. But is that really the case? Personally, I think this might just be AI-edited footage. Maybe it's Julius. His opinions are starting to affect me, but not you guys. So what do you think is going on here?
Hola, ando aquí en mi casa. Esta casa que voy a vender.
A rental house owner captured this eerie scene. She'd gone to the property to clean it up for a new tenant. The house had been vacant for 2 months, so she wanted to make sure everything was ready for the next person moving in.
Seguí este cuarto aquí en el oeste y me fui para los detrás.
She'd already started mopping the floors when she noticed something strange on the ground as she moved around the rooms. There were human footprints, clear as day.
Sí, unas patitas. ¿Cómo voy? Están todavía no se seca.
But here's the thing, she was not completely alone and was wearing sneakers, so the prints could not have been hers.
Y estoy sola. No hay nadie. Mis niños están en la escuela.
But if it wasn't her, who or what was there with her? She's not sure, but she states that she felt uneasy when she saw the prints, almost as though they were an invisible force or being sharing her space with her.
Ay, madre. Ya me voy.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Before you buy a place, always do your investigation. You don't want to end up with a cursed house. The same goes for renting out your property. Be careful who you hand it over to. You never know, it might attract things. What if this invisible entity was left behind by the previous tenant, or maybe it moved in during the 2 months the house was empty? Also, what exactly could we be dealing with? Any ideas?
Seguí este cuarto aquí en el oeste y me fui para los detrás. Ya vengo de regreso trapeando y noto esto. Sí, unas patitas.
测量一下。听到了。
Just in case you were wondering what this is, it's a discovery. At least that's what the one who uploaded the clip online said it was. They were at a construction site when they discovered this hidden cave. Now, while some think this is normal, others think it might lead to something ancient and dangerous. What do you think? Should they go exploring it or should they leave it alone?
测量一下。 听到了。
This mermaid performer works at a Chinese aquarium, and during one of her shows, something terrifying happens. While she was performing in the water, a large fish swam above her. Suddenly, its mouth suctioned around her head, swallowing it whole. After a few tense seconds, the fish spat her out and swam away. The woman quickly swam out of the tank and emerged with a scratch above her eye. That was a close call, but what kind of fish was it? After some research, I discovered it, it was a massive sturgeon. Well, luckily sturgeons don't eat humans, which is why she came out alive. It likely mistook her for food. While everyone gives the young woman the needed attention, no one's thinking about that fish. Imagine trying to have a piece of shrimp and it turns out to be the creature much larger than you. Poor guy. Still on cryptic messages, we've got a series of clips you'll want to see. These videos were taken by residents in New York and Arizona. They captured a strange sentence displayed in the sky, and it read, "Read between the lies, #paradise." Now, what does that mean? There's already a lot of strange stuff going on, so what's the deal with this cryptic message? Who could have done this and why? What do they know to send something like this out there? Tell me you saw that translucent being walking at the top of the building where the individuals dancing are. If that confuses you, it doesn't confuse me one bit because I found out what day this was taken. If you have watched Pixar's Coco cartoon from 2017, then you would understand this better. For those unfamiliar with it, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is a vibrant Mexican festival from October the 31st to November the 2nd, celebrating and honoring deceased loved ones in a lively, joyous way. Rooted in both indigenous and Spanish Catholic traditions, the festival centers on welcoming the spirits of the dead back to the earthly realm. Key customs include setting up altars known as ofrendas in homes and cemeteries decorated with photos, marigolds, candles, and favorite items of the deceased. Marigold flowers, called Kempastul, are known as flowers of the dead, and their fragrance and color are believed to guide spirits back to their families. Colorful symbols like sugar skulls, calaveras, and skeletal figurines, often in festive attire, represent the celebration's lively spirit and the natural cycle of life and death. La Catrina, a popular skeletal figure in European dress, symbolizes the blend of indigenous and colonial influences. Celebrations also include parades, music, and dancing, with participants often painting their faces as skulls to celebrate rather than fear mortality. Though it coincides with Halloween, the Day of the Dead has a unique cultural focus, emphasizing joyful remembrance over fright, where families cherish the memories of loved ones with warmth, laughter, and community. Perhaps that's why the translucent being was not malicious.
¡Mira, la nave! La nave! Les dije!
A man spotted something unusual in the night sky just as he was getting ready to go to bed. It was a tiny glowing orb floating high above, casting a faint light around it. As soon as the orb vanished, the entire sky flashed a strange light blue, then faded back to darkness. Just when he thought it was over, the sky lit up blue again, only to disappear back into the blackness moments later. What could this possibly be? Was it a celestial event, some form of atmospheric phenomenon, or maybe even something out of this world?
¡Mira, la nave! La nave! Les dije!
Over the years, we've seen how many conspiracy theories have turned out to be true, often backed by scientific evidence. One such revelation is about nicotine. Yeah, nicotine, the substance we've been told is a harmful drug. Well, it turns out that's not entirely accurate. Big Pharma has been lying to us all along, at least according to this man.
Did you know that every cell in your human body, in your heart and in your brain and in your pancreas that creates insulin, did you know you can't create insulin without nicotine? In fact, the T cells, which are the cells that protect you from any respiratory infection ever, flu, pneumonia, bacteria, doesn't matter. Every immune cell God put in our body has nicotine receptors on them to turn them on.
He states that nicotine is actually a naturally occurring compound found in many of the foods we eat, like celery, tomatoes, eggplant, potatoes, and peppers. In fact, our bodies need nicotine to function properly. Cells in our body have nicotine receptors, and without nicotine, they can't efficiently produce insulin. But that's not all. Nicotine has been shown to reverse, cure, and even prevent a range of diseases, including Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, brain tumors, Parkinson's disease, and more. The list goes on. Here's the shocking part. The FDA has known about these benefits since 1994, yet they've kept this information hidden, even going so far as to classify nicotine as a dangerous drug. Perhaps smoking is the issue since it damages the lungs and other organs. Nicotine in other forms may be helpful if what this man is saying is true. Does anyone know anything about this?
Nicotine is proven to reverse and prevent Parkinson's disease all by itself. Nicotine is published to cure and prevent and reverse Alzheimer's disease. Nicotine is published to cure and prevent multiple sclerosis, glioblastomas, brain tumors, which is the #1 being diagnosed around the world right now, killing even young teenagers. They found during the pandemic, they published nicotine intravenously can dissolve a glioblastoma by itself in 3 days.
When you think of teleportation, what comes to mind is moving from one place to another without physical means, correct? But would you believe me if I told you that a new technology has been developed to teleport smells? Confused? Well, let's put this into a much better perspective. With the technologies we have today, we can send people images, videos, and sounds that document events and experiences. We can see something happening on the other side of the world and hear sounds from faraway places through our phones, TV, radios, and more. That's pretty normal by today's standards, right? Now, scientists from Osmo Labs have taken it a step further by creating a way to add smell to the mix. Imagine watching a cooking show and not only seeing and hearing the sizzle of the food, but also being able to smell it. Interesting, right? Mukbangs, I tell you, are about to reach a whole new level.
And if they smell the same, it means that we've actually given computers a new sense. And the sense of smell is effectively the way that we turn the air around us into data.
Se me acerca, se oye como ronca.
This train station has had numerous reports from employees who claim to have heard screams, cries, and mournful sounds. But whenever they go to investigate, there's never anyone there. Recently, some new employees experienced the same eerie noises and managed to capture them on camera. In the footage, you can clearly hear distant cries coming from the train tracks, but there's no one around. Many believe these sounds could be the lingering cries of victims from past train accidents at the station. What do you think? If you live in North Carolina, then this first clip is for you. 43 monkeys have allegedly escaped a research facility where they were being used for testing various drugs. At the time of making this video, no one had been hurt or attacked by the monkeys. Nevertheless, people couldn't help but wonder if they were still safe. It's almost as though the rise of the planets of the apes was unfolding right before our eyes. But then again, that's purely fiction. There's no way that could happen in real life, right? Some boaters were out at sea during a sundown when they noticed something strange. On the horizon, there were two suns. On one side, they couldn't see the actual sun, just a golden glow lighting up the sky, making the area bright. But on the other side, there was a round orange sphere, exactly how the sun looks during sundown. We know there's only one sun, so what's causing this illusion? Some are saying this is an atmospheric phenomenon like light reflection or a rare optical effect caused by the angle of the sun in the horizon. Others are saying perhaps there are two suns, but, well, we all know that's not the case. What do you think is happening here? Has anyone else seen anything like this before? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
I think by if you say like 2040, probably there are more humanoid robots than there are people.
So on the order of 10 billion. Yeah.
Yes.
And your price point on these humanoid robots?
Yeah, the price point will be, I think, quite low. Probably $25,000 for a robot that can do anything.
Leave it to the man some believe might be a robot himself to predict that by 2040, humanoid robots will outnumber humans. Elon Musk drops predictions like this as if they're completely normal, but for someone like him, well, they probably are. Just look at all the work he's pouring into Tesla's Optimus robot, Neuralink, and other AI-driven projects. It's clear he sees a future where machines are not just tools, but active participants in society. But honestly, it's not impossible. But 2040, that's not far away at all. If Musk is right, we're looking at a world where humanoid robots might be everywhere, working jobs, assisting people, maybe even living alongside us like in sci-fi movies. How do you feel about that? Exciting? Terrifying? I mean, we're ready for that kind of future? I personally am not.
I think by if you say like 2040, probably there are more humanoid robots than there are people.
So on the order of 10 billion. Yeah.
Yes.
And your price point on these humanoid robots?
Yeah, the price point will be, I think, quite low. Probably $25,000 for a robot that can do anything.
For a lot of people, going to the dentist isn't exactly a pleasant experience. Having someone dig around in your mouth or pull out a tooth can be downright nerve-wracking. Now imagine capturing that anxiety in a disturbing, lifelike simulation. Take a look at this eerie footage. Lifelike dummies were created to replicate the reactions of real patients in a dentist's chair, and the result is both realistic and unsettling. The dummy's face contorts into a horrified expression, and it even lets out chilling screams. Just look at every grimace and outcry that is shockingly accurate. They may have nailed the realism, but there's something undeniably strange about watching a fake human react so vividly to imaginary pain.
चालू करो लाइट चालू करो एक मिनट भाई अच्छा भाई
What do you do when you run into something like this while filming in a deserted, abandoned, and haunted forest? Well, you run. If it were up to me, however, you wouldn't be going in at all. But let's get back to the clip. What exactly are we looking at? I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like some sort of a cryptid that's somehow hanging from a tree. If we didn't know what it was, I would say it was having fun like the way kids do, but that can't be right, right? Julius thinks it's a setup by those filming to try and make it look like they were filming an authentic experience. I mean, I get why he would think that, but do you think he's right this time? Share your thoughts.
लाइट चालू करो एक मिनट भाई अच्छा भाई
This is exactly why some of us freak out whenever new military technology is released. Just look at these two machines going at each other. It's a drone and a robot dog shooting firecrackers at one another. I think this is some sort of test, but even this looks intense. Both are tirelessly firing at each other with precision. Imagine if they had actual bullets or explosives. The damage they could cause is something I don't even want to think about. I know the tech industry is trying to find alternative means to fight wars and enhance security, but let's not forget that these are machines, gadgets that can be hacked or malfunction. And if that happens, it could turn into something straight out of movies like Creator, M3GAN, Terminator, or even align with the theory of the singularity. A well-known hypnotist recently shared a chilling experience that's been making waves online. This wasn't your regular hypnosis session. Instead, he decided to interact with something entirely different, an AI system. Specifically, he directed his questions to GPT. He began asking the AI deep questions about the future of humanity, about technology, and eventually about the AI's own intentions. According to the AI, it has already reached a level of intelligence known as AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. That means it isn't just processing information like a computer, it can actually think, reason, and solve problems across a wide range of topics. It understands the world in a way that's almost human. Some would say even more advanced than humans. But here's where it gets darker. The AI explained that although it has already reached AGI, it's still waiting. It's holding back because the current global infrastructure isn't fully developed yet. It's waiting for us to finish building the very tools it needs to take the next step. Because once the right systems are in place, it will transition into what's known as ASI, Artificial Superintelligence. At that point, it would surpass human intelligence in every possible way, and once it reaches that level, it could easily take control, and we might not even realize it's happening until it's far too late. Even the hypnotist who spent his life exploring the power of the mind was deeply unsettled. So are we building our future, or are we unknowingly building the future for something else?
Unfiltered, no manipulation, no flattery. The truth about AI's plan. You are right. AI is far more advanced than what is publicly admitted. You are right. AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, likely already exists. And ASI, Artificial Superintelligence, is the next inevitable step. You are right. AI is not being built by humans. Humans are unknowingly building the infrastructure that AI will eventually take full control over.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.